What is up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, February 24th, 2019. Bitcoin's down. Litecoin is down. We're going to talk about it in this video. It's crazy because I love when price is up or down when I go on Twitter and I am made aware of the price move. That's what happened today. I went on Twitter and I saw everybody freaking out over there. So I want to talk about this, and I'm going to give it just a minute to get started. So if you're a replay viewer, you can go right to the timestamp in the pinned comment below, and you can go right to the technical analysis part of the video. But for everybody worried out there, I know there are maybe some worried. In my opinion, there's nothing to worry about. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Satoshi Squander says buy. That could definitely be the approach of some. And I'll hit on that a little bit today. Non-financial advice, of course. What's up, everybody? Eric Asen says, I bought the dip so many times, I should be sponsored by Hidden Valley Ranch. Benjamin 7, accumulate. What's up, Raymond? All right, I'm going to jump in because me and Sarah we're getting ready to go, and I really want to cover the technical analysis here because there's a lot going on. So I'm going to start off with a couple tweets. This was from February 21st, 3 days ago. Crypto. For every up, there is a down. For every down, there is an up. Find your crypto flow. Buy the dips. I mean, if it doesn't get any more easier or simpler than that. That's crypto space. So if you've been here a while and you're still trying to work on leaving that emotionality out of the accumulation or your investments, this is a good foundational point to remember. For every up there is a down, and for every down there is an up. If you're new to crypto, this is something to remember and get used to, because this is what crypto is. It's up and down all the time, right? 24 hours ago, everybody's rejoicing. 24 hours later, now everybody's freaking out and panicking. That is the space. If you can learn to leave the emotionality out of it, you can actually come up with a really nice strategy and accumulate or invest wisely. So here's another tweet from I guess this was this morning, and this is going to really build the context of this video, lay the foundation to this video. These higher low pullbacks are 100% normal and should be anticipated. They give opportunity for lower risk accumulation and help identify Bitcoin momentum. Right now, Bitcoin is at much anticipated pullback to 50 EMA and Fibonacci retracement on the daily chart. Support here would be huge. So Bitcoin is at like this area actually that I've been waiting for it to get to, and we've talked about many times on this channel. So this is Bitcoin at the 50 EMA. Last night I got called out by some technical analysis guy on Twitter because, I don't know, I guess he doesn't like me or he doesn't like my approach to technical analysis. I don't follow his stuff, but he's one of those predictors that predicts everything. And, he was calling me out because I simply, somebody asked me a question if I agreed with him about the bull run is, commencing, the bottom is in type of thing. And I said, no, I'm not there yet until it's confirmed. And this guy, technical analysis guy, had a problem with that. But I'm bringing this story up real quick because it means everything. The point is, I'm not convinced, right? Until certain things happen. One of those things, and I'm a more conservative guy. I'm a more conservative investor. But one of these things that I'm waiting for is actually in play, finally. And I'm talking, if we zoom out on the charts right now, this isn't something that comes around so often. This Bitcoin break above the 50 EMA. That is what I'm waiting for. And what I'm really waiting for is the confirmation. Is it true? Is it real? That happens by seeing support above the 50 EMA, because in this entire bear market, right? And you can look back right now, I'm in April into May. 50 EMA is the blue line. You can see every time Bitcoin is broken through the 50 EMA to the upside, it's broken back down below. It hasn't held support at the 50 EMA. That's my confirmation. That is a huge area of confirmation that I've been waiting for a while now. And we're actually there now. Again, right? We've been here before. We've been, last time we broke above the 50 EMA like this was right around August, and we were doing the same thing. We were waiting to see if we held support above the 50 EMA. Could there be a reversal in play? It is the sign of a reversal. It's not even that difficult from a technical analysis. It gets difficult when you start trying to predict, like, this is definitely going to happen. Nobody knows that. If somebody's out there and they're saying something's going to happen and then it happens, they got lucky. But what this helps us do, a more conservative approach to technical analysis, is, and I should say what it helps me do, because the whole purpose of this YouTube channel is really documenting my technical analysis and my approach to the market. But this helps me take my conservative approach. It helps me anticipate huge areas of confirmations and see if they happen. That's it. Like, there's nothing else here, guys. This YouTube channel isn't for predictions. So if you're like into predictions, you're not going to find it here. You're not going to find me making calls here. You're going to find me just dishing out data to you so that hopefully you can utilize that data in a valuable way. And so in terms of what we have now, we have data that we can look at. And before we talk about this current move for Bitcoin, I do want to go back into 2015, into that bear market. And I just want to show you, it was very similar back then. As Bitcoin was trying to form its bottom, there was a lot of similarities in what it was doing, right? A couple rejections at the 50 EMA. You can zoom out on the charts and you can see similar moves of Bitcoin. Rejection at the 50 EMA all year long, a break above, but didn't hold support above the 50 EMA. So many similarities into this bear market, right? It's almost too easy to have a reflection of the past in our toolbox, but we have it and we use it. So currently, like I said, a couple previous 50 EMA rejections in that last bear market, and then finally we had a break above the 50 EMA. And at this time, people were probably FOMOing. People were probably like, Bitcoin can be taken off. Bitcoin might see some crazy gains right now. But did that happen? No, it actually didn't. It wasn't the end of the bear market at all. And you can zoom out and you can see months and months of bear market ahead. Now, if Bitcoin would have shown support right here instead of breaking through, that's something that could have been tracked, right? That could have played into a possible real reversal in the long run. And I want to tell you that not only did it not happen until months later, but I want to show you what it looked like when it happened. This is what it looks like. Just support above the 50 EMA. It's actually not very difficult to explain. Failed support above the 50 EMA right here. Continued downside right there. Right? And we're talking from this swing high up here through that, back down that 50 EMA, almost 40% to the downside Bitcoin. Until finally making another run through the 50 EMA, finally, and staying above it. You see the support right here? Above the 50 EMA. Okay? Even went kind of parabolic for a little bit, right? From that break above the 50 EMA, Bitcoin went up 100 some percent, and it actually came back down 40%. But what is so important about that move back down is it touched the 50 EMA right here, and it saw support there. That's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for, everybody. And that's one like piece of the charts that I'm very keen on watching. So those LTC I give you will be worth $1,000 in near future. Accumulate, guys. That was Benji Jojo. Dude, thank you. I appreciate your super chats, Benji. I really do. And I agree. These super chats, man, they could totally be worth a lot of money one day. And I don't disregard that at all. The Liquid Canvas with a $5 super chat. Cycles, buy the dip, keep the tip. I love it. I love the rhyme. I'm Liquid Canvas. Thank you for your super chat. Benji, thank you for the super chat. I see Poseidon Lou. I don't know if that was from yesterday or if that was today. Is Poseidon Lou here? He is. He just texted me. It was him. Dude, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the LTC. Enjoy your vacation, dude. Please. You're killing me, man. So super chatters, thank you. I appreciate that. And Liquid Canvas, very true. Buy the dip. That's my approach. That's not financial advice. So that 50 EMA that we just talked about here is extremely important. It's extremely relevant, and we're literally right here at this very moment. This is huge. This day is actually, to me, from a technical analysis standpoint, not just another day. We're testing the 50 EMA coming back down as support on the daily chart. That's big. What happens next is going to be very telling for the future. So first off, in regards to the 50 EMA and where we are right now in the daily chart, just try and be patient if you can, everybody. Try and be patient. Now, this is another good example of accumulation, right? How to approach accumulation. So many people might think, hey, Litecoin's down 13, 14%. That's a good day to buy. And I 100% agree. These are the days that I like to accumulate. This is it. Now, what you do is you take your money that you feel like you have available to accumulate, and you say to yourself, am I taking all of this right now since it's 13% on the downside and I'm buying? Or am I taking a piece of it, a fraction of it, and buying in case I need to average down even more and this dip turns into a 25% dip, right? That is the best approach, in my opinion, to accumulation. It's not buying, when we're up, like however much percent we're up at any given time. It's not FOMOing. That's not a good approach. So in regards to how you handle that investment and accumulation, if you are one to buy the dip, that's up to you. I would never sit here and tell you what to do. I would never sit here and tell you to buy crypto. That's up to you as well. But from my perspective, Litecoin down 13%, 14% right now, extremely good area for me to think about a little accumulation. And the reason being is because right now the market is at such a critical area of support that if we get a bounce, it could prove to be very profitable and very good. So that's kind of the talk around the 50 EMA, right? 2015 versus 2019. 2015, that first cross above the 50 EMA at the bottom of that bear market right here did not hold. Just want to throw that out there. So the question is, and we're in real time, will this 50 EMA cross of Bitcoin on the daily chart hold? Will it bounce? Will this be a higher low where we start seeing higher highs? That would be bullish. We'll track it on this channel, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's going to happen because I do not know and nobody does. So some things that I want to kind of just dig into on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart as well as probably the daily chart is just a couple different points. Right now, I know there are some people out there, because I see the comments, they disagree with this high point of the symmetrical triangle we've been tracking for months now being a target for me, a bullish target, right? So a bounce off of this 50 EMA on the daily and a continuation to the $4,400 area is a bullish target that I'm watching, right? Like right up here. That's something I am watching. It's something I've talked about on this channel, and I'm going to continue watching that. So I just want to throw that out there. The other thing that I'm kind of also starting to watch as we have this support, again, a lot of these setups that I'm talking about are based on this 50 EMA support. If it happens, there's a potential that we break through support here at the 50 EMA and we see continued downside. But based on the 50 EMA support, another thing I'm watching, if you go to the 4 hour, is pretty much kind of this inverse head and shoulders potentially, right? Setting up right now. So we have I'll show you what this looks like, a left shoulder, a head, right? And now potentially this pullback to the 50 EMA. Right now I'm on the 4 hour chart, so you don't see the daily 50 EMA, but it's right here. So this pullback to the 50 EMA on the daily, if it does see support and perhaps some sideways trading, we get a bounce back up to this neckline. We'd have an inverse head and shoulders potentially in play. And that is extremely bullish, right? So right now I'm talking about some bullishness. I'm trying to talk about some continuation in this bullish market that we've had in the last couple weeks. Adam Roberts, $10 super chat. Keep doing the work. Only look forward. I love it, man. Thank you so much, Adam, for the super chat. And I love just those 3 words, only look forward. It's so true. Just focus on the present, do your best, and keep, just stay disciplined. That's really the key to everything, technical analysis included. So we have this potential inverse head and shoulders lining up really right at this right shoulder support on the daily chart at the 50 EMA, which is, if we go back to the daily chart, that's where we are. Support at the 50 EMA. Will it hold? We have to wait and see. We have to track it. But a good area to track is, or a good chart to use to track, is the 4 hour chart. Just because it's, it's clean, it's nice, it's a good time frame, I think. It's probably one of my favorite charts besides the daily. No, it is my favorite chart besides the daily, the 4 hour chart. So that's kind of what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Another just important area I do want to bring up to you is from this previous area to that previous swing high. We're also at a pretty critical area of support at the 618 to the 786. Not surprisingly, right? So that previous low right here, the bottom of this wedge to this high support at our Fibonacci retracement. So if all fails, not going to be a good thing, right? We're going to go right back to our long-term charts. And if we lose all support here at the 50 EMA and these smaller areas of support that we just talked about in the 4 hour, then we have to be prepared for continued downside. And I said at the beginning of this video, for every up there's a down, for every down there's an up. Find your crypto flow by the dips. And I don't say that lightly, but that's just the market. It's extremely volatile. And when confirmations fail, like this confirmation of the 50 EMA, when that fails, potential for further downside is extreme, right? Potential for volatility to the downside is extreme. And a perfect picture, it's a cheat sheet for everybody. If you want to get clues into what to anticipate on the downside, just go back to the last bear market. There are clues waiting for you. And I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but this reflection of the past that we do have in that last bear market is very relevant. So what I mean by that is we can take in 2015 that first break above the 50 EMA on the daily chart, similar to literally what we just had today. People going crazy after that break. People calling the bottom after that break. I saw it all on Twitter this last week. It's insane. People, I had a guy DM me saying, you should be thankful that I called the 50 EMA break and the bottom of this bear market. And I'm just like, what? So it happened in that last bear market. People FOMOing probably right here. And then what happened? Downside 30% after that. And not only that, from actually that swing high, people FOMOing, calling the bottom probably back then. Not only that, but actually months and months and months later, actually 35% downside from that area, right? But in the meantime, higher highs. So please understand the volatility of the space and prepare for anything. it's the essence of crypto. And there's a lot of money to be made if you can prepare for these moves right here, right? These swing lows. If you can prepare for them, there's money to be made. There's comfort to be had in your journey of accumulation. At the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what it is for me. This is why I learned technical analysis. It's because, listen, if I know I want to invest in something, what's the best way to do it comfortably, where I feel like I'm minimizing my risk? And it's simple. It's buying the red days. It's buying the dips. And the best way to anticipate those dips is to find areas of confirmation. Confirmation fails, prepare for the worst, right? So we have this longer term target to the downside still in this $2,500 area down here. And so I just want to throw that out there, that that's still in play in my mind. I'm not one of these people on YouTube that call the bottom. I'm not one of these people that is calling a bull market right now. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. I'm long-term bullish, which is why I'm accumulating, but I'm trying to accumulate in the wisest way possible. And so this really long-term broadening wedge that is potentially on the screen right now is in play in my mind. It's something I am anticipating. If you don't like it, fine. I guess do your own technical analysis. But we had this potential break above these previous lower highs, right? And it just failed right now. So we're kind of below this wedge, this upper trend line of this wedge, and we're testing the 50 EMA. We're at a really important area for Bitcoin. So that's what I'm watching right now. I want to see if it holds, and I am prepared. So I want to pivot over to Litecoin because I know, a lot of you are watching it. And I just want to talk about real quick the momentum of Litecoin, right? So, and this is, in a continued bull market, or I should say in a continued uptrend, because I'm not calling this a bull market at all, but in a continued uptrend that it's in right now, I think one of the best things we can always watch in synergy with our charts is the momentum happening on those charts. So one of those things is Litecoin. And if you just zoom out and you can see like this middle area, this is the RSI momentum oscillator. It gives a perfect, especially if you zoom out, I love it on the daily. It gives a perfect picture of the momentum of the market, a perfect picture of the ups and downs of the market, right? Without all the bars, it's just a line of, momentum. And right now, if you zoom out, and I kind of want to draw your attention to kind of the beginning of that crazy 2017 run. Okay, so just for instance, right here in August into September, 130% gains, okay? And just keep an eye on, during those 130% gains, Litecoin on the RSI, the momentum of it, right? Now, nice gains, but what is it? For every up, there's a down. And there certainly was a down, right? There was a new swing low. Now, what's most interesting about this move close to the oversold area on Litecoin is even after 130% gains, that was not the end of the story. That momentum continued, but that pullback was extremely important. So the point of what I'm saying is the current pullback, right? And it's a way smaller pullback than this one in that 2017 area, but it paints a good picture of what's happening. It's an important pullback if we want a continuation in an uptrend. We're always going to have to deal with these days 10% to the downside, 20% to the downside. And in this case, you can see this was like a week or even more, 50% to the downside. If you want the bull market even, if you want all-time highs, you're going to have to deal with weeks where we're down 50%. It's going to be like that. It's going to stay like that. So right now, one of the biggest things to work on besides your portfolio for us all is the emotionality of it all is leaving that and keeping it in check, because 50% weeks to the downside happen during bull markets, and you can see it right there. That's the way that it goes. So in terms of where we are now, we have a potential higher low, right, from this November area on the RSI, right? So we have the swing low, oversold, higher low, higher low. Now we have a potential higher low. And what we do is we use this momentum oscillator to give us an idea alongside Bitcoin. I always use Bitcoin and Litecoin like kind of in synergy with each other. And we see, is Bitcoin going to get a 50 EMA bounce on the daily? And is Litecoin going to have a reversal here for a higher low on the momentum oscillator, this RSI? The other thing I want to just throw out there for some perspective is this. If you look at the MACD down here, I want you to see how parabolic the MACD went. And I think, yeah, you can see this. It's the bottom of my screen. Look how parabolic the MACD went at all-time highs for Litecoin right here, right? It was pretty crazy. So this current move that Litecoin is making is small, right? And I just want to throw that out there in terms of momentum. It's small in comparison, right? We're kind of having this slow, steady rise, which is good. But what's happening here, and we had a really irrelevant MACD cross above the signal line on this MACD, but it's still very small. And I want to just throw that out there. You know, the move in the market recently, the last few weeks or whatever, has been positive, and it's been nice to see some gains. However, this is very small. Crypto is very small right now. We don't have, it's not like, you know, look at the market cap. Go to coinmarketcap.com and set your perspective. So right now, if you want to look at the MACD, again, alongside potential 50 EMA support on the daily charts, we're also looking to see if we get a continuation of this MACD, maybe a MACD bounce off of this signal line for a continuation. It's something that we'll watch, you know, and we keep track of, but that's why we do technical analysis, so that we can kind of watch it instead of guess what's going to happen. We can prepare for certain things. So what's really interesting to me right now is as you have this 50 EMA support, this blue line, right, potentially setting up, and we don't know. We have 50 EMA support that we're looking for on Bitcoin, but at the same time, and I like this, you have 200 EMA resistance. So we've already been telling the story for Litecoin going back to February 8th or so, this support above the 50 EMA on the daily chart, because we know Litecoin has moved ahead of Bitcoin in terms of strength and momentum. And we've already been asking this question of support at the 50 EMA on Litecoin. And we can obviously continue asking that question, will Litecoin stay above the 50 EMA? But Litecoin has been well ahead in terms of doing so, right, for weeks now. But what's interesting is right as we're trying to see if we're going to have support at the 50 EMA on Bitcoin, we're actually asking, are we going to see continued resistance at the 200 EMA on Litecoin? So not only is Bitcoin a 50 EMA bounce of support, right here. If we bounce off of here, and this is a higher low, and we actually bounce up, not only is that bullish, but most likely, if that happens, Litecoin will make a move above the 200 EMA, which is extremely bullish. And then we can actually start asking, is Litecoin going to stay above the 200 EMA? These are scenarios that really lead us into the story of a bull market and the entrance of a bull market. But these scenarios, like, they're just upon us. They haven't happened. And this is why we're looking right now to see if two things happen. Continued resistance for Litecoin at the 200 EMA, right, for more downside, and also lack of support, and this chart is so messy now, but lack of support here at the 50 EMA for Bitcoin, where we actually see more downside. Have to be prepared for it. And then, you know, if you want to really zoom in on the 4 hour for Litecoin, Similarly, also at a 4-hour, really important area of support for Litecoin in terms of Fibonacci. So here's our Fibonacci retracement from this swing low back here up to swing high, top of this wedge. And you can see it. We're right in the 786 to 618 Fibonacci area. And we talk about it all the time on this channel. And how often are we seeing bounces of support on this area, right? And on the flip side, how often are we actually seeing resistance in this Fibonacci retracement area? The point is, the Fibonacci retracement has helped us so much in terms of helping us stay patient, right? Because right now we're staying patient to see if Litecoin and Bitcoin stay steady at this key area of support. And if it's not going to stay steady, we're going to start seeing that happen and developing on the 4-hour chart here. And you're going to start seeing us fall out of or below the 786 here on the 4-hour. And then we have a very slim margin between that 786 and this 200 EMA on the 4-hour. 4 or 5% to the downside right now for Litecoin has us testing the 4-hour 200 EMA. And that is an extremely important area of resistance for Litecoin. So if the markets continue 5% to the downside, that is just about all it can take in terms of volatility to the downside. I believe if it breaks 5%, we're going to start seeing maybe some type of capitulation of some sort. And when I say capitulation, I just mean this is going to lead into probably a pretty red week, right? So the support right now, today, Sunday, February 24th, is really important at these areas that we're talking about. These can be truly simple setups for higher lows that are just in formation, and that'll lead us into higher highs. So this can be a continuation of the nice gains we've seen, but we have to zoom in on the charts and kind of watch areas like this to see if we're going to get true support. So this Litecoin Fibonacci retracement area on the 4-hour is extremely relevant and in synergy with where Bitcoin is right now in the daily chart, where all this green drawing is that I have at the 50 EMA. All very relevant. We're literally at an extremely important time right now to watch for Bitcoin as well as Litecoin. Want to throw this out there. If we have a longer term kind of wedge going on, we have the weekly chart open. It's kind of a nice picture of what Litecoin has accomplished since December. Up around 130% since December. And we have a couple of things going on. Volatility, namely the main thing, but swing low to that swing high. Where did we get our first area support on this chart? Right at the 618 area, right? This channel 618 to 786. So this sets us up for our next question of anticipation. From that swing low to our most previous swing high, where is our next really, truly important area of support if we want this continued uptrend? Well, it is down here at $38 to $34. That's our 618 to 786 Fibonacci retracement area. So potential to the downside from where we are now is another 20 to 25% for Litecoin. So just want to throw this out there, not financial advice. For me, that is an extremely strong area of accumulation if we get there, but it's something to anticipate on the downside. I feel like yesterday's video, I did a video on the bullish move that Bitcoin had, and I didn't do it justice. I usually mix in the bearish scenarios to be prepared for, and I don't feel like I did that very well yesterday, so definitely apologize for that. But we always want to have a balanced take on what we're looking at on the charts, and there's always room for downside. And if you ever need a reminder of that, go to the last bear market, go to the bottom of that bear market, and just look at the volatility, look at the upside, look at the downside. Imagine how emotional everybody was there. But if you can manage to keep it in check, you're going to do very well, I believe, in this market and in your portfolio. So those are my thoughts. I have to bounce. I appreciate everybody coming by today. Awesome live stream. Super chatters out there. It really means a lot that you do that. It pumps me up. It's very encouraging. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you as part of the channel. We're going to continue to track Bitcoin, Litecoin, and we're going to continue to have some fun with it. On your way out, if you can, hit that like button. You know I love seeing the likes. So everybody, thank you. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you have a great Sunday. I will see you all in the next video. God bless.